break points, they really have to pick up on the fast break because they have to get a lot of easy shots kasi mahirap talaga makashoot dito sa half-court game ng Barangay Ginebra.
Alright, well, ginawa ni Stephen Thomas, no? Inunti-unti niya si Eric Beck hanggang sa naramdaman niya na nandun siya sa harapan ng basket pag bumihit siya. Bumihit nga, nakakuha pa ng foul. And so a 3-point play opportunity here for Stephen Thomas to even up matters once again at the start of the third quarter. At ganoon na nga nangyari, tabla, mga kapatid, iguales, todos, 43 all ang ating score.
Maganda sinabi mo kanina, the third quarter, that Barangay Ginebra, sometimes they lose it in the third quarter, they lose their intensity. In this series so far, the team that has won the third quarter also has gone on to win the ball game.
So tutukan natin itong third quarter nito, Eric Menka up against Ranidel De Ocampo. He muscles his way inside and he scores. 6 points para kay Eric Menka so far. Nagkakabanggaan si Alexander at saka si Thomas. Ranidel De Ocampo naghaharap ng papasahan. Inabot kay Gary David. Gary David trying to shake off Junti Valenzuela. There's a near steal. Wow, a lane steal. On a bad pass by Ranidel De Ocampo. Pero nagka-problema si Eric Menk para i-recovers it. Narito si Paul Artadi in the front court. Binigay kay Eric Menk. Off ni Junti Valenzuela. Here's Alexander. Balik ulit kay Junti. Chip shot is good by Valenzuela for his 4th point of the game. 12-point lead, Barangay Ginebra. Stephen Thomas laban kay Alexander. Tambo. Nilabas kay Ranidel. De Ocampo against Eric Menk. He breaks loose. Pero nandun si Alexander. Alexander takes it away. Binigay kay Paul Artadi. Artadi rushes into the front court. Inabot kay Mike Kagiwa. Kagiwa's inside the paint. Short jumper by Kagiwa is good. Only the 6th point by Mike Kagiwa, but more importantly, he gives Barangay Ginebra the 6-point lead at 49-43.
Very quiet game for Mark Kagiwa, but a quick 6-0 run for Ginebra after Air 21 came out firing with a quick 3-point play to start this third quarter.
Ranidel De Ocampo laban kay Eric Menka. De Ocampo with a lean-in shot. He tries to get it back, but Paul Artadi grabs it away. And Artadi hits the deck. Coach Bo Perasol helps him up.
That is the second personal first team foul for the Express.
Buti na lang, malaki rin si Bo Perasol. Kaya niyong buhatin si Paul Artadi.
Eh kung si Chris Alexander yun, baka siya kayo na buhat sa pinila niya.
Baka sumama siya sa sahig. Eric Menk against Ranidel De Ocampo. A foul is being called by coach, or rather by referee Boy Cruz. On
Number 20, Gary David.
Gary David, that's number 2 on him.
Second team foul for the Express. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
14 on the shot clock. Eric Menk. Sa kanya pa natin pumupunta ang bola ngayon, ha?
So this is the matchup that they like. They like when Ranidel is guarding him. Pag bumabantay si Homer Seo, kaya pag bumabantay si Stephen Thomas, they can't go to him because that's a tougher matchup for him.
Merong switch there. Paul Artadi picks it up. Good line. Pero siguro mga dalawang hinga pa bago umabot yun.
Well, you know, that's not a bad shot para kay Paul Artadi. Although he missed it, shot clock was winding down, about 4 seconds to go. That probably would have been the best shot available.
6-point lead pa rin para sa Barangay Ginebra. Gary David versus Paul Artadi. Binigay kay Junti Valenzuela. Nandun si Miguel Arboleda. Inipit-inipit pa ng Junti Valenzuela. Palasiwas-iwas sa tira ng Junti Valenzuela. Pumasok nakakuha ng foul. And so, bibigyan pa siya ng free throw. After only 2 points in the first half, Junti Valenzuela now has 6. At meron pa siya pagkakataon for 1 more point via the free throw.
And Ed, right now, an 8-0 run para sa Ginebra. Sabi nga nila, importante itong third quarter. Now make that a 9-0 run as the lead goes up to the highest of the ball game at siyam na yan kaagad.
Nag-upisa po ang third quarter, mga kaibigan, lamang ang Barangay Ginebra ng 3. At kaagad na nagka 3-point play si Stephen Thomas kaya tumabla. Pero ito, 9-0, naging 9-2 as Arwin Santos quickly retaliates on a jumper from the free throw line. Artadi bumps into Gary David, and David will be called for the foul. Pangatlo kay Gary David. Atong kasangkayan, di lahat Tacloban, yan Habukos Leyte, mga pahing gabi. Labi na mga nakikita nila at TV5 Tacloban. Hand out. Eric Nick, left-handed. Tap in by Alexander. And we have a timeout being called here by Coach Bo Perasol. 8:21 as Barangay Ginebra is up again by 9. Babalik po kami after those reminders. Alright mga kaibigan, all roads led to the Araneta Coliseum kanina. Bagamat malakas ang ulan kanina bago po nag-upisa itong larong ito, puno pa rin ang the Big Dome as we go to Game 4 of the series. Ang ating MyPhone Dual Live player, Doug Kramer, basketball player and model. Yan ang ating MyPhone Dual Live player. Ating sa inyo na MyPhone, 2 SIMs, 1 phone. Nalap na siya, Barangay Ginebra, nasa Air 21 ang bola, Gary David. Gary David, skirts the lane. Binabas kay Arwin Santos from the corner. Whoa! Stuck on you. Jump ball po ang tatawagin dyan at 8:21 in the third with the score standing at 54-45 sa pabor ng Barangay Ginebra.
Air 21 had to call an early timeout because the tide was really turning on the side of Barangay Ginebra, and they seemed their offense was not very sharp to start this third quarter.
Gary David. His move to the basket because of the foul on Junti Valenzuela. Sa pangatlo yan kay Junti Valenzuela. Arboleda, baseline, reverse layup, pinaliwa pa ni Willie Arboleda.
You know, Air 21 needed that basket because this third quarter has really belonged to Barangay Ginebra. And makikita natin, yung Barangay Ginebra, maganda talaga yung pagkalabas nila doon sa third quarter.
Oh yeah, pero hindi pa tapos ito, mahaba pa ito. Junti, however, is open. Malakas. Alexander trying to keep it alive. Steve Thomas, Junti Valenzuela. Wow, triple! Again, Chris Alexander coming to the rescue. He's got 19 points. 19 ba o 18? 18.
18 points, but then last couple of possessions, Barangay Ginebra really getting a lot of cracks at the basket because of offensive rebounds.
Tinapo na lang ni Stephen Thomas yung tira. Humihingi ng traveling ang Barangay Ginebra. Ito, merong foul. May tawag na foul. May tawag na traveling. The traveling call by referee Aldama will prevail. At medyo hindi siyempre, hindi natutuwa yung Air 21 doon, ano?
But the reason why that prevailed is sinasabi nila hindi tumama yung bola sa mas parte ng board o ng rim at hindi rin daw na supalpal.
Alexander over Del Campo. Arwin Santos trying to challenge Alexander for the rebound, and instead he's called for the foul.
So many offensive rebounds being grabbed right now by the Gin Kings.
Second personal on Arwin Santos. Samantala, binabas muna si Gary David. Alexander, binabas kay Artado. Takes a three-point shot. And Arwin Santos saves it. Ranidel Del Campo, tumira sa labas. Walang tinamaan. Here comes Mark Kagiwa. Kagiwa against JC Intal, who has just come into the ball game. Bungguan si Arboleda at si Ronald Tubid, and they call it in favor of L21. At gigil na gigil si Ronald Tubid.
We kind of expected na nung nag-loose ball na yun na magpabangga na yung dalawa na yun bago makakuha yung bola.
Arboleda to Thomas against Alexander. Bantayan yung dalawang import. Tulabas kay Ranidel Del Campo.
Has been off dun sa mga 3-point shots niya.
Paul Artadi pulls up. Binigay kay Kagiwa. Kagiwa, stop and go. Artadi to Alexander. Ronald Tubid for three. No. And Thomas and Alexander fighting for it. Last touch on Thomas.
And yeah, in this quarter, Alexander really outplaying Thomas so far. He has brought in the energy for his team. Thomas, on the other hand, no answers para kay Chris Alexander.
6 minutes and 14 seconds to go here in the third. Pass to Sunday Salvacion. Dinidikitan ni JC and Pal. Tumulong pa si Winnie Arboleda. The pass stolen by Arboleda. Salvacion trying to get it back. Arcano. Bumove. Si Arwin Santos. And it will go to Barangay Ginebra. Kala ko tutulong pa si Homer C. Homer C is coming back in with 4 personals. Ito, yung wild and woolly sequence. 6:03 remaining in the third quarter. Lamang ang Ginebra ng Siyam at 56-47. Magandang gabi po sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na nanonood sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo. Live po tayo ngayon sa The Filipino Channel. So mabuhay po kayo. Lahat natin mga kababayan na sinusundan po itong PBA ngayon. Chris Alexander. Misses the shot. Homer C. Para sa rebound. Binigay kay Winnie Arboleda. Arboleda. Oh, ano yun? Timeout. Tinawag si Coach Bo Perasol right there in front of the referee. Tumawag ng timeout si Coach Bo Perasol at mukhang meron siyang gustong ibigay na play para sa kanyang mga players. 5:48 remaining here in the third quarter. Lamang pa rin ng Barangay Ginebra 56-47. Tato mga amigo diha sa Kananga o sa Ormoc. Mayor Ibing Codilla sa Kananga, Mayor Biboy Codilla diha sa Ormoc. Tato mga higala ay gabi ninyo diha. Ito naman ang ating Cook Sarap Dito moment. Nakikita po ninyo si Paul Artadi dumadrive. Inabot kay Chris Alexander. Inabot naman ni Alexander ang ring. Sarap ng teamwork na yan. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Sarap dito. Homer C. Inside the paint. Ang haba na hakong na. Homer C.
But I'll tell you what, I'm sure that was not the play designed by Coach Bo Perasol out of the timeout. Broken play because JC Intal tried to go to the basket, but nonetheless, they get the 2 points.
Yun ang importante rin eh. Alexander. Laban kay Homer C. Maatras si Alexander. Ano po sila?
Chris Alexander just too strong para kay Homer C. Kaya-kaya niya siyang atrasan eh. Pagkatapos siyang matrasan, meron pa siyang advantage when it comes to height. Kitang-kita niya yung ring para doon sa jump hook niya.
Yung ginagawa ni Chris Alexander. Winnie Arboleda left of the team. Lumalabas si JC Intal instead it goes to Stephen Thomas. Thomas looking around. Harap-harapan sila ni Alexander. Traveling foul on Steve Thomas. Samantala, Bruno Mamarilla bumabalik sa court para kay Eric Meng sa panig ng Barangay Ginebra. Okay, sinesenyas ni Paul Artadi ang play para sa Barangay Ginebra. There's a clear out. Oh! Ano yung play na yan? And there's going to be a foul.
Good job on the part of Paul Artadi to realize that Air 21 was not looking at what was happening in the play. They were, ini-expect nila, natatawid dun si Chris Alexander rather. Easy pass over the top. Chris Alexander to the free throw line.
Hoy, masamang balita ito ah. Talo si Tanyamor. Harry Tanyamor. Unang laban pa lang. Talo mo, 6-3. Ay, nako. Anyway, 58-49 ang ating score. Sana manalo ang team nyo rito.
Oo, yun na lang, pampawi.
Kung sino man ang inyong napupusuan dito sa dalawang ito. May foul.
Now, speaking of people that are cheering for a team, a story right here is si Honor Cascon. Terminal cancer, only a couple of weeks to live, and just really happy na sabi niya napapanood na yung paborito ng team dito sa finals.
Well, we hope that we're given some hope as Chris Bacana completes the break. Boy, nice pass inside to Homerse. Reverse layup by Homerse. The pass from Willie Arboleda. Arboleda taps it out. Itong Philippine national team sa golf. Meron din silang paborito rito. Sabihin na natin, Ginebra daw sila. Sila Erwin Vinduan, Tonlitz Asistio, Jonathan Opinion. Nanonood sa atin, nandun sila sa Batangas. Nagko-qualifying sa Mount Malarayat Golf Course. Good luck sa inyo. Billy Mamaril. Wala.
Papansin natin itong Barangay Ginebra, karamihan sa mga puntos nila has been inside. That's why they're shooting at a much higher percentage.
Ang ganda ng pasa sana, medyo malakas lang. And Arwin Santos misses, but he gets it back. No. Outside for Barangay Ginebra. 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 9-point lead for the Gin Kings. Chris Bacana. Alexander asking for it. Bacana. Whoa! And now it is back to an 11-point lead. This is the biggest lead of the game para sa Barangay Ginebra.
And when you look at the offense of Air 21, it doesn't really look good right now. There's not a lot of ball movement. Even worse, there's even no people movement so far.
At yan si Coach Bo Perasol, my phone dual life player. Of course, he's a coach. He's also a finishing his master's. Businessman pa nga yan eh. My phone dual life player. Hatid sa inyo ng my phone, 2 SIMs, 1 phone. Egay Billones at the point guard slot now for Air 21. Homerse, tama kay Billy Mamaril. Homerse, muscles his way inside. Binigay kay Stephen Thomas. Short jumper by Thomas. It's good. Bagsak si Tubid. Ano ito? No foul. Si Arwin Santos, tinawagan ng foul. Nasa penalty na ang Air 21. So, 2 shots here para kay Ronald Tubig na bumagsak. Ganun pa man, counted pa rin yung tira ni Stephen Thomas.
Yeah, for Air 21, just nothing going right. Nakakuha sila ng puntos, pero pagkatapos wala man oras mauubos, makakashoot ka agad magkakaroon ka agad ng pagkakataon itong Barangay Ginebra for 2.
And it's Ronald Tubig. Ngayon na nakalaro mga kaibigan rin si Ronald Tubig after a long absence of an injury. But he got, when was it? Quarters ball or semis?
He got his injury in the final game of the elimination against Alaska. At ang sinabi nga, dapat hindi na makakabalik ito si Ronald Tubit.
Pero kita mo yung determinasyon ng tao. Tumatakbo si Egay Billones. Billones, matik mabitbos. Nabitawan yung bola. Here's Billones. Off to Gary David. David takes it inside. Ang lakas ng dating ni Gary David doon. Nakakuha siya ng foul. Let's see who's on. Who's it on? Okay. Eric Rose on Air 21. Eric?
Tulad na last time out, talagang galit na galit si Coach Bo Perasol. Sabi nga ni Jason, they're not doing anything right. He was so furious at that last time out, yelling at all his players. Kailangan sila makabalik. He just told these guys not to give up. Ed?
Alright, don't give up either. Babalik na po kami after some reminders. Alright, you're back with us here at the Araneta Coliseum. Nasa third quarter pa lang tayo mga kaibigan. Ang laro na ito, game number 4 of the best of 7 championship series between Barangay Ginebra and Air 21. Air 21 leads the series 2-1. Pero dito sa game 4 in the third quarter, lamang ang Barangay Ginebra ng 10. Sige, Siyam.
But so far, if you look at the score, definitely a defensive struggle so far. And usually, when you look at inside points, doon mo malalaman kung sino nagdi-dictate ng depensa. Air 21 so far, only 16 points from the inside. Barangay Ginebra, 42. What a big difference right there. That means that Air 21 is being pushed outside the shaded lane, while Barangay Ginebra has been doing their fair share of layups and mga tutok na tira.
All right, 2:35 to go, third quarter. 8-point lead para sa Barangay Ginebra. Nasa kanilang bola, Kagiwa. Dinabas kay Alexander. Binigay kay Tubid. 3-point shot ni Tubid. Wala. Billy Mamaril. Pinagawa ni Homer Shea. Pinablok ni Homer Shea ang rebound. Bagsak si Kagiwa. Homer Shea in the front court. Homer Shea binigay kay JC Intal. He puts it up off the glass. Yes! First 2 points for JC Intal na hindi ang laro in the first half. Chris Pacana. Mamaril to Tubid. Tubid for the jumper. Wala. And Gary David. Binigay kay Egay Billones. Billones to JC Intal at the baseline. A preemptive foul there by Chris Pacana.
Alam mo to si The Rocket JC Intal. In game 2 of this series, when he came into the floor, he really gave a jolt of enthusiasm and intensity for his team. That's exactly what he's hoping to do again dito sa third quarter ng ating laro para sa Air 21.
Biglang tumira si Egay Billones from the corner. Offensive board by Stephen Thomas. Traveling is called on him.
Stephen Thomas has to gather himself dahil alam niya shot blocker itong si Chris Alexander. And at the process of gathering himself, ayun, natawagan ng traveling.
1 minute and 50 seconds remaining dito sa ating third quarter. Ronald Tubid. Tumira ng mag-asa. Pumasok na rin. Tiro 3. Pangatlong tiro na yan in 3 consecutive plays. Talagang ayaw tantanan ni Ronald Tubid. A minute and 21 to go. Third quarter. Stephen Thomas. Laban kay Alexander. Pinagpil! Pinagpil ni Alexander. Bagsak si Homer Shea. At si Chris Pacana. Ano tawag?
They're gonna call a foul on Homer Shea.
Pushing foul on Homer Shea. Pangino niya, panlima na niya.
Panlima na yan.
Nasa penalty pa ang Air 21. So that means 2 shots yan.
So that's a great block mula dun kay Chris Alexander. At ito, tinawagan si Homer Shea. Dahil tinaganan niya naman ito si Chris Pacana.
All right, Chris Pacana, and you looked at Homer Shea looking really dejected there.
Look at Homer Shea. Just nothing went right for you in this game. Only 4 points. And so, yung mga foul niya, hindi niya nagustuhan miski isang foul niya. Pero, what's new?
And it's not for want of trying. You know, Homer Shea will always try. But sometimes, yung mga diskarte niya, hindi umuubre. That's the way he plays. You know? I don't think he means anything bad. Pero talagang ganun eh. Hindi mo na pwedeng baguhin yan eh. Gary David. Binigyan na pick ni Ranidel Del Campo. Tumuloy-tuloy si Gary David. Nandun pa si Chris Alexander. Bumitaw na nga si Alexander. Hindi na humapol eh.
Well, that's because Ronald Tubid really played good defense, really forcing Gary David into the funneling him into Chris Alexander. At mahirap pa dahil alam mo nandun si Chris Alexander miskin hindi papalpal.
And Ronald Tubid fouls again. This time, Mark Kagiwa with the offensive rebound. And luckily, Chris Pacana was right there playing safety at midcourt. Kagiwa. And got 7 on the shot clock. Kagiwa takes it as a bumlak ni Homer Shea. Tumatakbo ang 21 Gary David. Lays up. And he scores with a foul. So one more shot here para kay Gary David. We look at this bit of action here. The block by Homer Shea. And Gary David is off and running. Egay Billones picked up the loose ball. Binigay kay Gary David. And just sheer athleticism there being displayed.
One of the few times that we've seen Air 21 get on the fast break. Actually, the first 2 points off a fast break.
And Gary David makes it a 3-point play on the fast break. 12 seconds to go. 8-point lead for Barangay Ginebra. Here in the third. Rafi Rubis. Sparingly used tonight. Mike Kagiwa. Double team. Pakana's open! Malakas. And the buzzer sounds to end action for quarter number 3 in Gayari.
So far, miski konti lang. Lamang pa rin to si Chris Alexander with having a little bit more points and one more rebound. But when you look at the way Chris Alexander has played on the offense of Barangay Ginebra, hindi pilit eh. It's all in rhythm. Para kay Steve Thomas, everything has to slow down when he's been getting the basketball. Seemingly, Chris Alexander has been the better fit for his team tonight.
Ito si Chris Alexander. Hinawakan na ni Ronidel De Ocampo. Dominic Uy, meron ba tayong bago galing sa Barangay Ginebra?
Oo, kitang-kita natin yung intensity dun sa huddle na yun. Especially, itong si Chris Alexander wanting the ball every time. Sabi nga niya kay Coach Joey Chico, give me the ball and I'm gonna score. So, tingnan natin kung he can fulfill his promise of scoring.
Oh, humihingi na naman siya. Ronidel De Ocampo on him. Pakana from top of the key. Long 2.
Kaya sarap naman kung ikaw si Coach Joey Chico, if Chris Pakana can give you 10 points off the bench, that's just huge. Actually, Chris Pakana, yes, he did come from the bench.
Gary David, top of the key, mahina.
And it's a bad shot once again. It's not really in the flow of the offense.
Narito si Paul Artadi. Binabantayan ni Gary David. Pakana. Ginabas kay Artadi. Here's Kagiwa. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Artadi! Can you believe it? Field throws. There's a practice now. Ginagawa ni Paul Artadi. And Barangay Ginebra is on top by 13 points now. Biggest lead in the game. And guess what they're chanting? Abantara, no foul on Ronald Tubit. Oh, I'm sorry. Eric Menk.
This is third personal, first team foul for the Team Kings.
Wala pala si Tubit.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Third foul on Menk. JC Intal. Takes a ball out for the basket. The reverse layup. Tempo, wala. Alexander again for the rebound. Wala pala si Steven Thomas, ano ha?
That's right. Rebound story so far, 45 para sa Barangay Ginebra, only 36 para sa Air 21.
That's a big story. Alexander, offensive foul. Medyo sumobra yata sa gigil.
Well, actually, you have to be a little bit more consistent with that because Chris Alexander has been doing that the entire game. And then, so he was thinking if he can get away with it, gagawin niya ng gagawin. But this time around, the call is made and he gets that offensive foul.
All right. Egay Billones. Gary David. Billones is open for 3. Yes!
Egay Billones really having to play a lot of minutes because Winnie Arboleda has not been doing his job so far in the game. Ito si Egay Billones, mas maganda pa pinapakita niya so far kaysa kay Arboleda.
7 points for Egay Billones in the game so far. Mark Kagiwa. Looking inside, but teka.
He's gonna get caught for trying to hold
Si
down.
Gary David. Oh, siya nga pala, yung mga kaibigan natin sa Bungero. Habang wala sultante siguro na nanonood sa atin, si dyan sa Laloma, si Gary Sakang. Ano ito ni Running Tiki. Tingin Tres, ni Egay Billones. Atid sa inyo ng bagong TM Discarte Zone. 30 pesos lang, may bagong discarte ka na. Alexander. And the miss there by Ronald Tubid. Kagiwa puts it in.
But it was the tap of Chris Alexander keeping the ball alive. Eventually it falls in the hands of a red shirt and Mark Kagiwa wide open, uncontested shot.
8th point by Mark Kagiwa. Arvin Santos gets the roll. Pero nakikipagpalitan lang itong Air 21 ha. They need some defensive stops and some more good offense. Pero itong Barangay Ginebra, determinado itabla ang seri. Ayan si Alexander going the other way. The tap by Eric Meg goes to Alexander himself. Kagiwa with a forced critical. Yes, and does it. Rejected by Stephen Thomas. Agarera. Sabi ni Stephen Thomas. Marin Santos goes all the way.
And Air 21's going to need more of that. Good defense on one end, easy basket layup on the other.
Yan ang sinasabi natin, and they cut the lead down to 8 at 75-67. Meron po tayong 8 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Let's pause for these reminders. All right, 8:33 to go dito sa fourth quarter ng labanan ng Barangay Ginebra at ng A21 in Game 4. Artadi to Alexander, back to Artadi! No! Thomas for the rebound for A21. They are on the attack, down by 8. Winnie Arboleda. Sinulong ni Paul Artadi, will go to Arwin Santos. Santos, natapagay na Mark Kagiwa! Nasa free by Mark Kagiwa!
Quick hands on the part of Mark Kagiwa. He knew na meron siyang problema dun sa poste, pero konting bilis lang ng kamay sa panakakuha ng bola.
Alexander backing up. Miguel de Ocampo. There's the double team. Ronald Tubman, top of the key. Front shot. Wala. Loose ball. Picked up by Cañaleta. Bumalik na si Nino Cañaleta, who exploded in Game 3 para sa A21. What's it over to Stephen Thomas against Eric Menk. The kick out to Miguel de Ocampo. Top of the key. Wala. Malakas. Thomas gets it back. Binigay kay Arwin Santos. Three-point shot. Wala rin. And Alexander says enough.
The three-point shot really not falling the way of Air 21. Only 4 out of 19 so far. At kanina nakita natin, Ranidel de Ocampo taking that shot. He has been the missing link for Air 21. Only 4 points. 1 out of 10 from the field and 0 rebounds.
Babalik ko, ano ang balita sa Ginebra?
Pinaalala ni Coach Jong yung nangyari last game nung nag-explode itong si Nino Cañaleta in the fourth quarter. He reminded his boys na kailangan we have to stay home on the shooters, especially Cañaleta and Arwin Santos para hindi mangyari ulit yung nangyari in Game 3. Ed?
Nasa kanila pa rin ang bola. Thank you, Dominic. Ronald Tubin to Eric Menk. Umaatras, labang kay Cañaleta. And ano tawag dito?
Yeah, we're gonna call Chris Alexander for the
Ball
foul. Actually, Eric Menk may have traveled as well. Pero sabi nga itong Air 21 may still have a run in them because napansin natin sa larong ito, they have not had a good long run yet. Barangay Ginebra had a good run in the first quarter. Air 21, the defense of Barangay Ginebra has really kept them from having one of those 6-0, 8-0 runs.
Whoops. May tulak. Tatawagin kay Eric Menk as he tried to prevent Steve Thomas from backing up on him. 6 minutes, 43 seconds to go here in the fourth and final quarter. Lamang pa rin ng 8 ang Barangay Ginebra. Nasa Air 21 ang bola. Paul Artadi with the tap out.
Yeah, it seems Barangay Ginebra wants Chris Alexander to guard Steve Thomas, but Chris Alexander is motioning that he still wants to preserve his style.
Ranidel de Ocampo almost lost it to the baseline. He recovers it. Ranidel. Alexander. Pero inabot na ng baso.
Exacto, that's not gonna count. Sayang, magandang ginalaw pa naman ito si Ranidel de Ocampo.
Sa mga kaibigan natin sa Pangasinan, masanto sa labin si kayo, Board Member Ming Rosario, 4th District. Sa Pangasinan, ng buong Pangasinan daw nanonood sa atin dito sa Game 4. Alexander, nasa
Napigla eh.
bumagsak kasi si Ranidel de Ocampo. Nagulat sa Alexander.
Wala siyang
Ba't talang nagbabantay sa akin?
sanay siyang may nakadiin sa kanyang katawan eh.
Alam mo, hindi biro yun talagang ganito pagka bigla kang binitawan, mawawala ka sa balanse. Kaya na-traveling siya. 6 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Winnie Arboleda. Here's Nino Cañaleta against Tubig. And Tubig acknowledges the foul.
You have to credit Ronald Tubig for what he has brought to this game. The wing guys of Ginebra have had trouble guarding the wingmen of Air 21 in the last couple of games. Ngayon pagbalik niya, at least meron silang pantapat to the guys like Nino Cañaleta and Gary David.
Ayun ang air ball. Well, he's got to try sometime. 75-67 ang ating score. 8-point lead. And you can guess, give me 3 guesses kung sino ang mga umuungol dito. Kagiwa. Top of the foul, 3-point shot. Yeah! 4 threes. Gotta go back. Kagiwa just when they were not looking.
That's a big shot para kay Mark Kagiwa. Really not been able to pile up the points so far, but that shot gives them back at a double-digit lead.
And Alvin Santos off-balanced, had to throw up the shot. Kagiwa has 11 in the game. Not his usual numbers, but we're not done yet. Out of si Kagiwa. And Alexander is fouled. He gets 2 chances from the line. Si Canyaneta ang tinawagan ng kanyang unang personal foul.
There's Alexander shooting 2.
2 shots for Chris Alexander.
Pati free throw shooting ni Chris Alexander sa araw na to, maganda. Already 21 points, he's got 17 rebounds. Ito si Chris Alexander. At ito naman si Coach Bob Pirasol patuloy sa paghahanap ng 5 na magandang may magandang ipapakita.
Yung patulak na throw ni Chris Alexander has been working for him. Van Heusen is the shirt of choice for the power dressers. Van Heusen dresses up the modern man endowed with distinction and a clear-cut sense of style. Van Heusen, the best dress shirt. And the guy in the red shirt is Paul Artadi. Mark Kagiwa. 13 na ang abante ng Barangay Ginebra, the biggest so far in the game. Malakas ang tira. Picked up by Gary David. Gary David having some problems. Gary David recovers it. And we'll go to Arwen Santos. Arwen with a lean-in shot. And the foul is going to go on Ronald Tubid.
So Ronald Tubid acted like he was hit. Now, one of the things na tinawag yun, dahil pag nahulog yung isang player sa harapan ng tumatalon, nawawala yung concentration mo then it's you know, what they call flopping.
Arwen will get 2 free throws after this timeout. Alright, and the crowd, yung banda na tumugtog ng My MVP theme song, Tuti, yung theme song Bugod Tangi, Dave Delfin on bass, Elmer Salido on drums, Kettle Mata on guitar. Arwen Santos at the line, takes the first.
Yung My MVP, malapit na yan sa linggo na yan.
Dami raw nagtatryout At mga kaibigan natin sa Radyo PBA, Nagu Margin and Eugene Akot. Yun siya, I love our 21. Pero nagbinti si Arwen. 4:36 to go. 12-point lead para sa Barangay Ginebra.
Another thing that has gone for Barangay Ginebra is that guards have been quicker to the balls on the floor. Miski hindi sila nakakuha ng rebound, minsan pag nahuhulog yung bola, kadalasan mga taga Ginebra nakakuha.
At Kagiwa, medyo natulak yata.
Number 20, Gary David. That is his 5th personal and 14th foul for the Express. Mark Kagiwa shooting 2.
Kagiwa for 2. Uy! Alright, yan naman ang ating MyPhone Dual Light player. Product endorser and PBA player, Mike Kagiwa. Atin sa inyo ng MyPhone. 2 SIMs, 1 phone.
But 2 misses as well para kay Mark Kagiwa.
Ano nangyari yun?
Vinny Arboneda trying to force the issue has not been there for him today.
Here's Chris Pacana.
30-second timeout, Barangay Ginebra game.
Ang 30-second timeout na tinatawag ang Barangay Ginebra with 3:59 remaining in the fourth and final quarter. 12 ang lamang ng Barangay Ginebra over Air 21. At hindi pa po tapos ang issue nito. Hindi po safe yung 12 puntos na kalamangan. And Barangay Ginebra knows that. We have a 30-second timeout going on. Samantala, ang ating J-Max light steel frames, tibay sa hardcourt move at player. Ito, si Eric Lent getting around the defense of Ranidel De Ocampo despite the help defense pa rin. Kaya po, ang ating J-Max light steel frames, tibay sa hardcourt, hatid sa atin ang J-Max, tibay at lakas ng loob. Kumusta po kayo? Ed Pixon po lamang kasama si Jason Webb at ang buong complement ng TV5 dito sa Game 4 ng inyong PBA Smart Fiesta Conference. Cross-court pass to Chris Macanad. Bagsak si Eric Lent. And referee pointing at Stephen Thomas. Panlima niyan.
So that could be his fifth. So Stephen Thomas is arguing siya naman ang
So daw iniipit
iniipit daw. But look at the bottom of your screen as Chris Pacana goes over and around right there.
Foul on number 55, G. Thomas. That is his fourth personal, 15 foul.
Pangapat pa lang ni Stephen Thomas.
Like nothing really has gone the way of Air 21 in this game.
One free throw for Eric Lent.
Eric Lent for the free throw. Remember, Air 21 currently leads the series 2-1. At kung mananalo po rito ang Barangay Ginebra, magiging best of 3 tayo. Here's Stephen Thomas.
It's happening once again.
Kanina pa sa tinatawagan niya.
But you know, he's trying to do the inside pivot. Pagka-pivot niya paloob, tapos tinataas niya yung kaliwa niyang paa going to his right side. And definitely that's the right call from the referees.
Eh, nangingiti naman si Chris Alexander sa galak.
So that has to be the biggest difference in the two players. Si Stephen Thomas, 6 ang turnover. Tapos si Chris Alexander, 3 lamang. Lamang si Chris Alexander sa puntos, pati sa rebound.
Meron yata humihingi ng substitution. Anyway, Chris Alexander, tinapigan. Binabas kay Chris Pacana. Pacana, nice move, blocked by Stephen Thomas. Tumatakbo ang Air 21. Nandun si Ronald Tubig. Gary David, tumuloy-tuloy. He's blocked. Paul Artadi ang papalitan ni Mark Hagiwa.
Paul Artadi really giving a good account of himself. Hitting 3-pointers. It's just in perspective. In 3 years, Paul Artadi was 4 out of 40 from the 3-point line. In this Philippine Cup, rather in this Fiesta Conference, 10 out of 22 from the 3-point line.
Stephen Thomas inside. Alexander with the shot block.
At nakita nyo naman doon sa stat kanina kung ano yung ginawa ni Winnie Arboleda in the last game compared to this game. Napakalayo. And again, one of the missing links for his team. Dagdag mo na dyan si Ranidel De Ocampo.
Timeout, Air 21 Express.
3:06 to go in the game. We have a timeout. At gusto pong tumapla ng Barangay Ginebra. As you look at the No Fear Fearless Move of the game, Junti Valenzuela. And our Fearless Move of the game brought to you by No Fear and Nowhere. Got the balls for it. Nakita kay Gayem, ken kakabsat ita Northern Luzon. Naimbag na rabi yamin na po. Gusto po kayo dyan sa ating mga kapatid na tausog. Assalamualaikum, magsukol kaniyo katan sa tawi-tawi, sa hulo. Lahat po ng mga kapatid nating Muslim. Assalamualaikum. 83 ang Barangay Ginebra, 68 ang Air 21. 3 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Dito sa kahuli-hulihang yugto ng labanan ito. At itong Royal Relievo. JJ Helterbrand, Paul Artadi at Chris Pacana, mga gwardiya ng Barangay Ginebra.
Aside from the assist that they weren't able to cover yung puntos at saka rebound, nagawa ng dalawang pamalit nitong si JJ Helterbrand.
Stephen Thomas, Gary David. Dumayad si Eric Menk. Traveling. Eric Reyes on air 21.
Well, si Coach Bob Rasolet, ang sinabi nga niya, he's just trying to get some positives out of what's happening in the ballgame. Sinabi niya sa kanyang mga players not really worry about what's going on. This is a series and you just have to stay positive. Even if malaki ang kalamangan ng Ginebra, they want to get something out of the last 2 minutes and 57 seconds of the ballgame. Ed?
Well, 15 puntos ang inahabol ng air 21 with that much time remaining. Looks like a tall order, but we've seen stranger things happen. Arboleda on a spin.
Paul Artadi.
Sumabit.
Kanina pa hawak ni Paul Artadi yung hawak ni Winnie Arboleda. Yung kamay ni Winnie Arboleda. Kasi alam ni Paul Artadi, hindi niya makokontrol yan sa poste.
Pagpihit ni Arboleda, may hirapan rin siya. 2 shots para kay Arboleda.
Now we talk about how this series has gone the way of the bench, but in the starters so far in this game, when you look at Air 21, the combination of Arboleda, De Ocampo, Se, and Cañaleta, all of these started for them, only accounting for 13 points. When you look at the opposite side, Artadi, Caguiwa, Valenzuela, and Menk, ang laki ng nakuha nila, a total of 37.
Paul Artadi bangs into Arwin Santos. And Santos will be called for the foul. That's number 4 on Arwin. Ito, makikita ninyo. Salpukan talaga nagbanggahan.
Both guys going the opposite direction.
And you know what happens when two forces collide.
Yung mas magaang lilipad.
Ganun ka nangyari. Well, Artadi has had his moments in this game. A couple of 3-point shots.
Ito yung nababanggit natin kanina in his first 8 conferences in the league. Only 4 out of 40 from 3-point range. That's 10%. Tapos bigla na lang nagbago. 10 out of 22, including this game for 45%.
Winnie Arboleda picks it up. Wala. Loose ball picked up by Ronald Tubit.
And that has been what you've been saying all the time.
Yeah.
Loose ball picked up by a Barangay Ginebra Gym King.
Loose ball picked up by an Air 21 Express, and Arwin Santos goes up for the slam. .74-72, even doesn't lead here. And the pass off to Chris Alexander. Eric Menk coming out of nowhere to save it. Narito si Mark Caguiwa.
And again, that was a loose ball.
Yeah.
Nakakuha na naman Barangay Ginebra. Ang dami na nakuha possession.
And this is the Outlast 2 minutes. At it's in Outlast maintenance-free batteries. Start agad sa Outlast. Malakas. Loose ball. Teka muna, merong foul na tinatawag si referee Cruz. Chris Alexander for his third. Ito naman ang ating Yakult slam dunk courtesy of Arwin Santos. Yakult every day okay. Sigurado ka dyan. So si Thomas will take 2. Down by 12 ang Air 21 at this juncture. Pabalik na naman si Chris Pacana para kay Paul Artadi.
Only the first point of Stephen Thomas in the 4th quarter. And as a team, only 12 points para sa Air 21's quarter na to.
Alexander for the rebound. There's a near steal by Gary David. And it goes out of bounds. Oh, jump ball. Ang tinawag. Well, the referees couldn't make up their minds, so ang mangyayari dyan, jump ball. 1:43 to go. 11-point lead for Barangay Ginebra. Nagkukumahog po itong Barangay Ginebra to stay in contention in this best of 7. They're down in the series 1-2. Tips one by Mike Caguiwa. Chris Pacana. Natapikan sa likod. Pacana hindi makatira. He goes to Caguiwa. He goes to Arboleda. Foul is called on Arboleda.
Number 19, Winnie Arboleda, penalty. That is the
Second personal on Winnie, and nasa penalty na itong Air 21. So 2 shots here for Mike Kagiwa. Barangay Ginebra looking good at this juncture. But as we said, we can't count Air 21 out, not even when time pressure is on them. But Kagiwa adds to the Air 21 roles with 2 free throws to put Ginebra on top by 13. A minute and a half to go. Arwin Santos, 3-point shot, wala. Gary David goes up and is fouled. So bibigyan din yan ng 2 free throw.
Arging foul, number 22, Chris Mahana. That is his third personal.
At this point, itong Air 21, parang they're just waiting for something magical to happen to them. They know that this is a commanding lead that they're facing.
And, you know, Coach Bopper as well from the get-go really knew that something was up with his team. In the first quarter, I believe he burned 3 timeouts. In the third quarter, he did the same thing, trying to change the whatever was happening with his team. Kasi masama talaga yung team play. So really did not waste any time, willing to waste those timeouts, but really could not get a run out of his express.
All right, 1:22 to go, and we have a timeout. Okay, yan ang prediksyon ng mga fans ng Barangay Ginebra. Magiging 2-2 after tonight's game. Well, it certainly looks that way, pero sabi nga natin, hindi po pakakasiguro. Meron pa tayong 1 minute and 22 seconds, although medyo malaki itong lamang ng Ginebra at 11 points, 86-75. Pero kung tutuusin, kung sa posibleng mauubusan pa yan ang Air 21 if things go their way, at pagkatapos inaalat naman itong Barangay Ginebra. Samantala, ito hindi maalat. Top players in the series on points, Mike Kagiwan, rebounds Thomas, on assists Arboleda, on steals Arboleda, and on blocks Alexander. Ito ang ating top power, top players brought to us by Top Power Energy Drink. Top Power Energy. Yan, sa series po yan, sa ating best of 7 series.
Talked about Winnie for the win. Winnie Arboleda, almost a triple-double the last time in this game. 2 out of 8 from the field, and only 3 rebounds and 3 assists, but he has 5 turnovers.
Ato mga higara diha sa Kapitolyo sa Misamis Oriental, kang Governor Moreno, Maricel Rivera, Larry Rivera, Popoy Canoy. Ngayong gabi ninyo diha sa Cagayan de Oro.
Coach Chico putting in more ball handlers. He knows that Air 21 is going to put pressure, try to foul. He put in a lot of good free throw shooters at the same time.
Ball score time. Bacana's open. Wala. Arwin Santos for the rebound. Arboleda for 3. Bagsak na naman si Pacana. Tinumaan yata sa mukha. Ano tawag?
Players, please proceed to the shaded area and join for your respective benches.
That means, ano yan, flagrant yan pag
pag
pinaghiwalay.
Hiwalay mga players. Merong tinitingnan yung mga referee.
So this definitely happened right here. The question is, it may be on Winnie Arboleda as he goes up. What does he do with his hands after? Right there.
Bagsak niya.
Penalty 1. Number 19, Winnie Arboleda.
Penalty 1 on Winnie Arboleda.
Just a lot of frustration on the part of Winnie Arboleda. Really could not get his team going. Sabi nga natin, siya yung veterano nung koponan niya, but in today's game, he just could not get his team going, and he just couldn't lead his team.
Chris Pacana has given a couple of free throws pagkatapos kanila pa bola on the flagrant foul penalty 1 on Winnie Arboleda. Sabi mo nga, no, frustration na rin ito on the part of Winnie Arboleda. As you look at J-Max light steel frames, tibay sa hardcourt play featuring Paul Artadi. Yan po ang ating J-Max light steel frames, tibay sa hardcourt. Hatid sa atin ng J-Max. Tibay at lakas ng loob. At ito, maraming busog ngayong gabi dahil makakakain sila ng hapunan. Yung mga pagkatatalo ng Ginebra, maraming hindi kumakain ng hapunan eh. At naman, ito, panalo kayo. At naman makakabusog, baka maimpatso kayo. Kagiwa. Inside to Junti Valenzuela. Back to the basket shot by Junti.
But Ginebra is not going to make 100 points, but they're going to win this ball game. Kanina, pag-usapan natin, importante yung 100. This game was a defensive struggle, and in that struggle, Ginebra was able to impose its will.
That's right. Sila po ang nagwagi sa larong depensahan. Although I'm sure Air 21 will have a thing or two to say about that. Ganun pa man, Igay Villones on the foul by Chris Pacana is at the line.
It might be a small thing, but Ronald Tubin coming into this series, he put in 6 points, although he did not shoot very well. It again adds depth dun sa guard rotation ng Barangay Ginebra. Alam naman natin, importante sa kanila yung marami silang able bodies when it comes to the guard position.
Villones makes both. Only 27 seconds remaining before we officially call it a tied-up series at 2-all in a best-of-7. There's about 5 seconds separating game clock and shot clock. Maki Escalona, by the way, is in the hard court, and the Ginebra team is calling for Maki Escalona to shoot the ball. Chris Pacana will do it. And they'll just let the time run down as Barangay Ginebra ties it up, evens up the series at 2 games apiece.